Happy Mother's Day, y'all. Me personally, I don't celebrate it, but I'm not one of those type of people that just because I don't celebrate something, I'm not like one of them people that's like, oh, like anti whatever it is. Um, but yeah, and it also gave me an opportunity to test this equipment too. So this is pretty nice. So let me do this real quick. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, so I got my buttons and everything. I hope y'all are doing well today. I know everybody's got their whole thing. Oh, let me do this real quick. All right, so just making sure everything's set up. But yeah, I always got my nice view of the yard. Just chilling. It's chill today. Weather ain't that great today. But at least it stopped raining. And the thing that I really love about this weather out here is that when it's like this, the kids go to sleep. I've been talking to a lot of women that's been like they wanted to have a break for Mother's Day. Well, I'm getting a break today. The kids are down. The weather's down, so it's pretty nice. But yeah, like I kind of threw up some videos today. That was pretty fun. Just kind of checking the sentiment of people for today. And I noticed a lot of people are like mad at their mom. Um, but like I'm kind of a dinosaur. So back in the day, Mother's Day used to always be about how mom is the greatest. And today, man, people in my age group, they don't care, man. They don't care. Hey, can I do? I'm gonna do last name Deaton, and y'all can hear me okay. I hope y'all can hear me okay, cause I did do a live stream yesterday, and the volume wasn't in, but I hope y'all can hear me today. Um, but yeah, so one thing that I'm realizing this year, cause I used to be working all the time. KK, shout out to KK. Hey, um, like these days, people are taking an opportunity to be mad at their mama on the internet. I have been looking at TikTok videos like crazy. And I'm like, dang, why can't anybody just, be like, well, at least she had nice makeup. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is dragging their mom today. Um, yeah, shout out to oh man, Kakarot. Oh, Kakarot Dragon Ball Z. I'm from North Carolina. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Um, but yeah, man, everybody is just mad. Thank you so much, KK. I appreciate it. I've been chasing these kids all day, y'all. I've been chasing them all day. And it started raining, and they got tired. And I'm so glad for the weather. The weather be giving me a break. It be giving me a break. When it's nice and sunny outside, it's really hard for me to go live during the day because I'm out with the kids all day. And that just made me think. That goes back to this whole everybody dragging their mom on the internet. Oh, she said you're white. How am I white? Is my screen okay? I'm white. Message health for oh my goodness. And y'all, I'm still new at streaming, so please, forgive me if I'm a little trippy. I'm testing my new equipment, by the way. So, bam, doing that. Um, KK said, I'm jelly. I guess I'm peanut butter. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that. Sorry, chat, if this gets weird. Sorry. So, anyway, yeah, man. This new trend, everybody is mad at their mama. Everybody is mad, and I guess with this new age, I guess we can be mad. I don't know. Um, I don't know, man. Like, see, I had a weird situation. Like, my mom, she was like old school and stuff like that. Um, so I mean, I guess a lot of people be mad. This one lady, I did make a video on it how she was talking about how just because your mom, fed you and got you by, doesn't mean she was a good mom. And I'm like, y'all gotta realize like the older generations didn't have phones and stuff. Okay, and I was I trying to start an argument, but I just be thinking to myself like, back in the day, they had it hard. Do y'all know how hard it is to make butter? Stuff like that, like stuff we take for granted today. Like we don't even press buttons. We just tap screens to get what we want. Um, I don't know, man. Back in the day, it used to be rough. It used to be rough. Everything was rough. Everything that you had to if you ever wanted something, you had to go and get it. Like I remember when I was talking to some of my friends who was in the military, and before they joined the military, you couldn't get like food delivery. Like we have like Uber Eats, right? Like just about whatever restaurant you want to eat from, you can just get on Uber and just or DoorDash or Grubhub, whatever. You just tap it in, bam, you good. Um, it's back in the day. You used to have to do everything on your own. You used to have to get up and get out, right? So that's why I be feeling in some type of way. I mean, I know my kids when they grow up, they probably gonna have plenty to complain about. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like by the time they get older, I don't know. I can see them complaining about me being strict. I think I'm kind of strict. Like, I run a tight ship here. Um, I mean, they have mandatory study times and everything, and I mean, they can't even really talk yet. I mean, they 1 and 2, they still in Pampers, but I still require them to like at least have like one book. They have at least one book a day that they go through. I read a couple pages and stuff. But I don't know, I might be out of touch. Once again, that might just be my new channel name or my new live name. I might be out of touch because I seriously do be out of touch. Like I don't know, like Mother's Day is like I'm not one of those preachy people, like just because again I have different beliefs and stuff. So and I'm not like a Jehovah's Witness to where no shots at Jehovah's Witness. Shout out to them. Michael Jackson was the greatest. But I'm not like this type of person that's like, oh, I don't believe in this, a pagan holiday, blah blah blah. I'm more so of if this is what most people are doing, kind of check the temperature of how everybody's feeling, right? So but yeah, I thought I was just gonna go on TikTok and everybody be like, "Yo, my mom." I got that one cowlet right there. My mom, she be tripping, blah blah blah, but at least she was there or something. Man, everybody was like, "Yo, I'm mad at my mama and I don't care who knows," which is crazy to me. Um, and I might just be judgmental. Um, but yeah, I appreciate moms. Like if any moms are out there that just feels like they kids are mad, it's okay. That's the best I can tell you. It's okay. They gonna be okay. They alive. Okay. Some moms out here are a cold piece of work. But and this probably gonna go dark. She kept it. You know what I mean? Like, shout out to Corey Ogle. Like, he was like, Mother's Day is she kept it day. And especially given like our generation, right? It's like the fact that your mama kept you, that's a big deal. Like, no disrespect, that's a big deal. Like, my mama, she was y'all rest her soul. My mom, she passed away like almost like 18 years ago. So, but my mom, I have to say, my mom was phenomenal. Like, my mom was, to this day, my mom is like my hero. Like, she was the best person that I knew. Um, a lot of the stuff that she taught me, I am still learning it. Like, even after almost 2 decades of her having passed away. Um, my mom was such a good mom to where I assumed everybody else's mom was, it was like, what other way could you be a mother? But now I'm just like, okay, I got lucky, right? Because it's a lot of people that's just, they mad, and the maddest people that I've seen online at the same time, they're like, they're really being hard on their mothers. And I understand, people be like, you never know what that person's been through. I get it. But I just feel like, how come people aren't paying attention to the way that they're coming off? Like, it's so easy for people to criticize, other people these days. But I'm gonna just say this. I have two small children, right? And as they get older, I never thought about this because I never knew I could have kids. Like, growing, I've always, like, when I was an adult, I was told very early on that I wouldn't be able to have children. So, okay, now that I got them, I'm like building it while I fly it. Like, and I think all moms are like winging it, right? But there's so much that mothers have not been taught. And not to mention, I can't tell you how many people are constantly giving me bad advice. Constantly giving me bad advice. And, if I do say something that might come off as offensive, I don't mean to. I'm just saying, I remember it was like, for example, bad advice. It was so hot. It was so hot. And um, my husband and I, we were going out to a restaurant, and of course, at the time our son was a toddler. He was like 3 months old or whatever. And we were going out to eat or whatever, and we had stopped by like the baby store on the way to the restaurant, and we were, looking at window shopping, looking at furniture and all that stuff for them, but just getting little toys and stuff for the kids, whatever. The lady in the child store or whatever, it was called Bye Bye Baby or whatever. It's out of business now. But anyway, she was telling us that you should never change a child's diaper in a public setting, right? And the way that she made it sound was like using a changing station would destroy your baby's life, right? Because this was like our first time, like we didn't really go out with our kid like that. It was our first, and he was so young or whatever, 3 months, pretty young. For us, we didn't feel comfortable having him out and about while he was a newborn. So okay, cool. And we were listening, and I'm thinking to myself, while it's hot outside, why wouldn't we? No, he was older than that. He had to be a little less than 6 months. But anyway, why wouldn't we take him to the changing station? She was like, well, you change him in the car. And I'm like, well, not a lot of elbow space in the car or whatever. But she was like, yeah, it doesn't matter. You just shouldn't have your child's, whatever, private parts and stuff out in public. And to me, it kind of sounded weird, but I was like, okay, let me think. And it shot me back to all the times when I would ride in mothers' cars and their cars smell like butt. And like, it smelled like pee in there. It smelled like pee and poop. And that's what made me realize, like, this is why they cars stink. Like, and then not to mention, when you're changing a kid's diaper or whatever, and it gets nasty in there, I don't even think they take a second to wipe it out. Now, let's just talk about my generation or people around my age group being super duper mad and being like, oh, my mom was like the worst mom ever. Now, for me, I had time, my husband and I, we had time to think and go, this don't sound right, right? So we were like, okay, my son, he just peed, whatever. So we were like, okay. As I'm going to change him in the back seat, I'm like, I'm thinking, I'm like, we look homeless. if we do this, right? Like, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. It was super hot outside. So we were just like, yeah, like we gotta, it'd be smart to keep the car running because I don't want to be back in hot, sweating, get musty, going there. And go. Just go in a restaurant, open up the changing station, change the baby, done. You know, we had to come to that conclusion by ourselves. Now, I also realized this. I said we. So I could not imagine if I was raising Junior by myself, how that would have gone because, like I said, this was like our first child ever. He was a total surprise. For years, we were told we were not going to have any kids. So this was 100% like just random, right? I was just imagining because these women, they speak with such conviction on what you should and should not do with your kids. And, you know, it was nice to have Josh be like, yo, something ain't right about this, right? Because I was thinking it, but I was also thinking about all the women who was backing the lady in the store who was saying, yeah, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. Cool. So I'm saying all this to say, if if my husband wasn't there to tell me, hey, this is off, all these people were just rushing me in particular to tell me what to do. And I have to say, if it wasn't for my mom teaching me better, I probably would have just ran with it. Now, here's another gem. We had our first child when we were both in our 30s, right? This is another thing you gotta think about. Yeah, I don't know why people keep discounting teen moms. I don't know why people don't ever think about teen moms because if you're a teenager, you're already a kid. And then on top of that, you already need somebody to tell you what to do because you're a kid. And then on top of that, if you have a kid, that makes things a little more complicated, as you could imagine, right? So like a lot of people, like, they be getting mad at their mama, but let's just be real. If your mama was 15, what exactly did you think you was gonna get? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not sitting here trying to bash anybody. I'm just saying, have a little mercy, like just a little bit. You know, that's all I'm saying. Just be nice, be nice, be nice. You know, I'm not telling you to let down your boundaries. I'm not saying that at all because I've seen some wild moms, some crazy moms. There are some moms out there that I'm just like, oh, like, ugh, they scare me, man. But they be the main ones with like 4, 5, 6, 7 kids. I don't know. But that's a whole nother subject. Let me finish talking about this diaper change situation. So we stopped the whole diaper change in the car thing. Went straight changing the diaper in the restaurant, right? Cool, whatever. So it was just easy. It was in and out, you know. And here we are, you know, we're adults, we're mature adults. When we have this is our first son at this point, our only son so far. And like I said, I'm like, what if I was just looking at other people because I did not know what I was doing and listening to these women and these women that were telling me to do stuff. They got kids. A lot of their kids are almost grown. A lot of their kids, some of them, their kids already got kids, you know. And notice I keep saying plural. They got kids. So the way my logic was that if you got like 5 children, and here I am with my kid that's under a year old, you must really have some insight. And I'm like, no, that's that's not what that is. People just tell you the best of what they know. And sometimes the best of what they know is not good at all. They just don't know, you know? Like the lady in the store or whatever, I'm sure she wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna get pee in your car. No, she wasn't thinking like that. She was just like, oh yeah, and I don't know. Like sometimes women be telling me stuff based off of some kind of trauma too. They be giving me like trauma advice. I don't think it's ever been like what you call it. You want to get down, mama? I don't think that women ever really get time to deal with their issues. I highly doubt it. I feel like society just expect for women to already have it. Especially, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like the more that I be doing these posts, the more I realize that society gives women like a false security blanket, and that security blanket, I feel, oftentimes create a bigger problem. So, for example, let me unpack that. Let's say like the welfare system, right? Um, Everybody look at the welfare system and go, well, if a woman decides to walk out on a guy, she can get at least 18 years of government assistance. That's how a lot of people see it. But the reality is, for 18 years, this woman is stuck in a financial still where she's not really dealing with the real world. She's kind of in a fixed environment. And the whole focus is to take care of the kid, right? Now, when I talk about taking care of the kid, I'm talking about just making sure your child has what he or she needs, right? And yeah, those checks, they coming, but they're not always consistent either. It depends on the economy. It depends on who's in charge of, the department of, social services or, hood, all that other stuff. All these things got to be factored in. Paperwork has to be filled out. Every now and then you have to go back and fill it out again. I mean, women have become quite administrative. Haha, caught you. Figured you was gonna go for that. To where, I mean, again, society always says that women are covered. And in a way, women are covered. But it's like, it's kind of like having an umbrella with a hole in it, is the way that I can think of it. People who don't have an umbrella, they get soaking wet. People with a good umbrella is like, those who got a hole in their umbrella, they should be glad that they got something to cover their head, right? But anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm defending moms. Okay, as a mom myself, I'm a stay-at-home mom, right? I can see I can see how women can be like, you know what, forget it. I can see it. Now, for me, I got the privilege of having a husband that I can be blunt and honest with, right? To where I could tell him, like, I'm so tired, I need you to get these kids. And he'll take them, he'll get them. But most women don't have that. Most women don't have that. Like, even like, I used to be envious of women who can go drop their kids off or whatever. Be like, hey, I can just, take my kids to my mama's house or whatever. But even that, I'm learning that's not even the move. I'm learning even that's not even the move. Like, I've heard of people dropping their kids off with they in-laws or their friends or their siblings, and it becomes a problem of, oh, you got to pay me because your kids ate up all the hot dogs or something like that. I don't know. It's so much that moms have to deal with. Like, so much that they have to deal with. Not to mention, I gotta bring this up, the drug thing. The drug thing. Okay, let's go back to that one lady telling me to change my baby diaper in the car. Could you imagine me listening to that lady if like I was like checked out? Like if I was under the influence. That would be bad. That would be very bad. Some people they mom on drugs. Yeah, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying some people moms be having problems. And if it's your mama, you better look out. Cause you grew from that womb. I'm telling you right now. Next thing you know, you'll find yourself doing the same weird stuff you criticizing your mama for. Just saying. Like we gotta stop being so critical of people. Like being a mom is such a selfless thing. Even when she doesn't do it right. You know, and again, I cannot stress this enough. I am not being, I want to say condescending, or I'm not trying to tell anybody how to have an opinion of their own mom. I'm not doing that at all, right? Um, I'm just saying, moms, they go through a lot. They go through a lot. Like I was 130 car seat away from being a bad mom. So that lady, she talking about something. Oh yeah, change the diaper in the car. And you know, anybody who got boys, they know they when they pee is whatever's in the line of sight, bam, you hit. And I'm like, I just thought about it. My husband was like, yo, that's crazy. You know, like, and this lady, she spoke with nothing but confidence, and then maybe it's probably because I've seen some places where changing stations look like they got bullet holes in them. Like I've seen some places, shout out to John Mulaney. He was talking about how when he had his drug problem, he used to do lines of that white stuff on those changing stations. Which is crazy because I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, in his defense, it is a convenient table in a very private place in that stall. But I don't know. I just thought it was, they just gave me all kinds of advice. It just did not make any sense. But they only given me what they knew, and I think they were only trying to tell me the best that they knew. And I guess that's the biggest takeaway is that people only tell you the best of what they know. They're only trying to help. But the problem with that is that when your kids get older, they remember the smelly car seat and they remember your vices and all the time. I bet you my kids are probably gonna criticize me for doing this. Bam. It was like, hey mom, we used to play for the whole day, and then now you just take a little 30 minutes to an hour or two out to edit videos. And it's like, I might have taken a couple hours out, but you ain't never went to no daycare or nothing, Which again, for me, I went to daycare. That was horrible. I hated it. Absolutely hated daycare. Being thrown in with all them kids like I was a piece of laundry. I didn't like none of that. Being mixed in, all these different family cultures. And then daycare teacher. These background checks on these daycare teachers are not thorough. But that's a whole other conversation. I'm just saying, give your mom a break. You ain't gotta bring down your boundaries. You ain't gotta do that. But I think you should really give your mom a break. Just, try not to be so critical. I feel like the very people who criticize the mess out of their mom be the main ones doing crazy stuff too. I even started, I could start me. One thing that I didn't like about my mom is she was the type of person that you can always, like, I don't want to say doormat, but you can always come back to my mom. It will take a lot for my mom to ever check you. Hey mama. So like it'll take a lot. My mom will deal with so much disrespect. Like somebody will be like, hey, can you lend me money to pay my light bill? they'll take that money, go straight to the liquor store in her face with that money, and then throw a party with whatever they got left. And my mom will be like, oh, well, maybe this time they'll pay. They like that same person will come back and be like, oh yeah, I still need the whole X amount of dollars. And my mom, as if nothing happened, she'll hand them more money. Like, yeah, I don't want the lights turned off, right? Which was crazy to me. This is one of the main things I didn't get along with my mom for, and it frustrated me, because I'm like, me and my mom, we used to always have this, what's the word for this? Confrontation? Not, we used to bump heads about this whole, now that I'm an adult, it's easier for me to put it in words. When I was a teenager, I used to just flip out because that was the only way I could process it. But the way that I put it is helping versus enabling. And I used to get so agitated with my mother, and I used to be like, just because in your mind, your way of helping a person has played out, it doesn't coincide with reality. So if you keep coming back, still trying to do the same thing, expecting a different result, they say that's insanity, right? Boy, my mom used to get so mad. And I mean, I wouldn't say it as collected as I am right now. I would be extremely upset when I would talk to her, as you can imagine, from a child's point of view. And that's something I constantly had an issue with my mom with. Now that I'm older, I'm like, she had a different personality than me. I'm kind of transactional. And transactional, the reason why I say kind of is because that's not fully what I'm saying. Like, I look for results. That's how I am. All the stuff that happened in between, I don't really get too into that. It's like with my mom, I know she wanted to help people. She always wanted to help people. And she never cared if she never got the result that she wanted. All she cared about was, hey, I did the best that I could for this person. For me, I feel like the whole point of helping a person is so that they can be helped. If I tried to help you and you got worse, somebody else might need to take that over, because that's wasting a lot of my time, is how my attitude is, right? But that was something that she and I always bumped heads on. And that's an example of how, I can be critical of her, not understanding what her background is. Like, my mom was born in the 60s in the country. So where she's from, it's like, if you help somebody one time, you can help them again. If you do this for a person, you can do it again. That was her mentality, right? But me, I mean, I wouldn't say, I don't think Charlotte is like a big city, but it's certainly faster than Rock Hill, South Carolina. So, my mom, I'd be like, yo, that happens in that little slow town you from. Up here, you're somebody to laugh at. And we always bumped heads. Now, had she been alive today, I'll be honest with you, I probably would have boundaries up for her. Because you can't keep letting a person take advantage of you and then the people around you start to suffer. Now the people around you are forced to make a decision on whether or not they're going to stick by your side for you in spite of the people who do not respect you that you surround yourself with. I would have been confronted with that dilemma as an adult. But since she has passed, it's like, yeah, it's easy for me now. It's like with anybody living like that, I got no skin in the game. I'm like, oh, okay, you rock with that, that's cool. As for me and mine, we're not doing that, right? But at the same time, I still take it apart. And maybe I'm sentimental because my mom has passed, but I think about the fact that, first of all, I think of the origins of, where I'm from and then where she's from, comparing the two, understanding that she grew up differently. She grew up in a different time. Not to mention, let's just stress that this technology age where you can just click, 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 not even click, you can just tap, bam, done. Um, Most people ain't got that like that. And the generation before us has never lived like that. Never had that to where they could just tap something in. It's at your door tomorrow. Never. Um, the type of stuff that we could look up. Back in the day, could you imagine there was a day where there was no Google? And then if you did have Google, you had to go to a computer. And a lot of times you had to go to a computer, you had to go to a library because they were expensive and it was easy to just log in at a library. Today, I don't even think that kids these days, like kids in my age group, I don't even think they gonna know what a library is. Not the way that we know it. Like this place with a bunch of books. This is like, yo, it's a library to show all my favorite music. Like, library. They don't know that there are physical buildings, physical books. Like, dang, I just thought about it. I might need to get my kids into some ebooks. You know how much space that would save? And I love minimization. OMG. I am so big at doing a lot with a little, right? But yeah, that's just me. Just kind of throwing it out there. Take it easy. Take it easy on your mom, man. Take it easy. Even if she messed it up, take it easy. Like, I think that I'm blessed enough to where I can deal with my kids. I have time to. That's another thing. Ooh, if your mom was working and raising you, please keep in mind. I remember when I had issues with my car. I haven't driven it in a while, and I was telling my husband, I was like, you know what? Everything that we want and need is like walking distance. I'm tired of going to the mechanic, and I hate pumping gas. But my hands are delicate. I hate that. Squeezing it. I'm not, not to mention Josh, he spoiled me, man. He pump my gas all the time. He'll top the gas off, then he'll go to work or whatever. But with the car or whatever, I remember I stopped driving so much because I was like, the time that I spend to go do stuff, that's commute time. I'm not even talking about the work part yet. That's just commute. Like, it takes 20 minutes of, driving to get from point A to point B. On top of that, you have to deal with all these different people that are going in a similar direction to you. You gotta make sure they don't hit your vehicle. You gotta make sure you don't hit their vehicle. You gotta make sure they're not distracted, they're not under the influence, so on and so forth. And I was just thinking to myself, what would it be like to do my duties as a wife, as a mother, and then have to report to a job on top of that? Not to mention the commute time. If I'm driving 20 minutes to and from work, it's only 24 hours in a day. All that time has to be deducted from your time where you eat, sleep, use the restroom. So 20 minutes of just getting to and from safely. 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back to get home. That's not including like grocery store runs or going to get your hair done or get your nails done. None of that other stuff is factored in. And then when you get home, kids need diaper change, middle potty training. I got a boy and a girl. They have different needs. My daughter, she is very vocal. She's very interactive, as you can hear. Not the camera stand, mama. She wants the camera stand. Hi, I can't knock that one down. It's not like the old one. Hi. She's also hi. Hi. So, yeah. Like, I could not imagine punching a clock, sitting somewhere for 8 to 12 hours to make ends meet and doing this at the same time. That's just one of them. It's not two of them. Like, yo, I be rotating these kids out. These lives, put one of them to sleep. Usually one of them wake up. They act like they on shifts or something. But yeah, like, there's a lot of chicks that are just in unfortunate situations. The majority is in unfortunate situations. And I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not telling you to call your mom and say thank you. I ain't saying that. But I just need you to think, and especially if you don't have kids, I need you to just do it for you. Just take a minute to think. Like, all the diaper changes, the teething, all the issues that come with having kids, being pregnant, so on and so forth. It's a whole thing, man. It really is, and it's a trip. But definitely, I'm gonna say this too. Keep your boundaries up. I can't stress that enough. Whatever life you decide to have, make sure you maintain your boundaries. Because I'm gonna tell you from experience, ain't nothing worse than knowing that it could have been better. You could have been better off. Oh, ain't nothing worse than that. Knowing that you could have not had these kind of issues, right? Anyway, with driving and commute time, yeah, just that amount of time, and you're dealing with other people's attitudes while you're on the road too. I thought about that. I was like, dang, it makes sense that I was a little confrontational. I wouldn't say confrontational. I just didn't have any patience when I was driving for most of the day and when I was working. I didn't because while you're on the road, your patience is being tried all the time. And then I'm up here where a lot of people, there's a lot of like road rage incidents in my area where I've seen people pull over on the main street up here and get out of the car, yell at each other. And I'll be like, yo, that's crazy. You cut all that out your day. And I'm just saying, for moms who go to work, they got to deal with that on the way to work. They got to get gas just to get to and from work. They got to come home. And then, oh my God, if you're in school, oh my God. And especially if you have more than one teacher, you're going from class to class. This teacher over here is okay. That teacher over there is not okay. That teacher over there is superb, but your grades aren't that great. It's a lot. And before I go, I have to say this. People who get to drop their kids off, I gotta lean on this point because I'm not the type of person that really is cool with just having any old body. Not that I'm saying it. Let me rephrase that. I'm not cool with my kids being out of my, I don't want to say out of my sight. What's a better way to put that? I'm real particular on who I have them around because my husband and I are very particular about the way that we're raising them. I know there's a lot of people that's like, oh, it takes a village. I feel like that has the village that they think of is like friendships on Facebook. But my thing is ultimately you're responsible for your children, right? And so I get a little annoyed with it. But what annoys me more about it is like when I have my kids with me, there are people that they react to it. I love having my kids with me. There's this thing that people always say to me is like, oh, enjoy them while they're young because when they get older, you can't tell them what to do. And I'm like, listen, I don't always want to tell them what to do. I want them to get to a point where they make their own decisions. And it might just be easier for me to say. But again, my platform, my opinion, I think, I want them to get to a point where we can have a discussion about what they're doing rather than me, always getting on them about what they're doing, what they ain't doing. Like I have to micromanage them. Obviously, they're one and two. This is very hands-on. But when they start to talk and start to help me understand where they're coming from, I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm actually excited for that day. Ha ha. She tried to knock it over. I caught it this time. Ha ha. But yeah, man, one of these lives, she knocked the stand completely over. And I was like, I'm going to get me a stand too. I can tighten it up so when she does do that, I can catch it. But yeah, like, yeah, some women, they just be like, you gotta, they just assume that, no, let me back up. Scratch that whole thing. People who are able to have like a routine babysitter and stuff like that, I don't know if that's safe these days, especially COVID. Y'all not scared to drop y'all kids off after COVID? Just saying. And I understand there are a lot of moms out there who have to do it. But I don't know, man. Especially ever since that pandemic, I'm like, you got to put a billboard up to tell people to wash their hands. I don't know about all that. People got their own opinions about everything you do. Hey, why you let your kids wear this? Hey, why you feed your kids that? I just don't have the patience for it. I just don't have the patience for any of it. But yeah, I will say that it's very common that women here in North Carolina in the United States, they just I don't see how people can go days without seeing their kids. Maybe it's just me, but it'd be some people, they drop their kids off and they ain't seen their kids in a week. So I don't know. And I will say it's one thing if you're working, but it's another. Now I'm getting back to these people who were mad at their mama. Maybe I see why they mad at their mama. Maybe it's easier for me to say, hey, take it easy on your mom, because my mom made my life easy. Very easy. I still got little notes. Man, my mom, let me tell you, my mom was so thorough that she even have passages in a Bible that she gifted me that are highlighted. Like things that I struggle with, like she's got parts of the Bible highlighted for me, and I still be studying. There was this one scripture, it was a psalm that I looked up, and because I just heard a few quotes from a preacher the other day around that time, and a piece of that, I was like, why is that hitting the way it is, right? Went to go check it out. I used Google, and the parts of the scripture that I could remember, I typed it in and pulled it up. And I got a phone call. I pulled it up and then I went to go turn in that Bible my mom gave me. And lo and behold, there was exactly what my mom was trying to teach me when she was here. Like I saw her handwriting, I saw the highlighting, and I was like, dang. And it makes me realize, like, most people moms ain't ain't leaving little notes. So that even when she's gone, like I even got to see like little notes that she took that, her grandmother took for her and taught her and stuff like that, But I will say this. Let me say this. I know I'm jumping everywhere, but I'm live, so I go. I will say this. For those who do criticize your mom, who have a problem with your mom, make sure you're not doing worse than what your mama did. And really, really look at what you're doing. Like my example, my pet peeve with my mother, I hated how she used to just let people walk all over her. And for me, I make sure that I hold people accountable, So yeah, that's a huge thing. Like don't be like, oh, my mom was the type that, she'll take anything off of everybody, but you don't pay none of your debts back. Stuff like that. Like don't be the thing that you criticize. Like, oh, my mom used to take advantage of everybody she dated, and you taking advantage of everybody you dated. Maybe some people don't like their mamas because it can't be two sheriffs in one town. Maybe she gotta rip people off and you gotta rip people off and y'all can't rip the same people off. So then now y'all competing for the same space. Who knows? But that's just my thought on that. And hopefully this new equipment did good. And I'll catch y'all on the next live. Peace.